Planning your weekly training schedule can be quite a puzzle, especially when you are starting out as a hybrid athlete. You might get confused about when you're going to do your endurance training. Do you have enough rest between your gym sessions? So last week in my video, I shared about how I do it. And this week, I'm going to share some tips as to how you might want to start building up your training plans while staying consistent, injury-free, and of course, not burning out. First up, I need to highlight that there is no one-size-fits-all training plan. It all depends on your lifestyle, where you're starting out from, and what your goals are. For me, I've built mine to prepare for my Hyrox 2025. And that means balancing endurance, strength training, and recovery. So number one, start with your goal in mind. I always begin with my end goal in mind. So like I mentioned, for me, it's going for Hyrox in 2025. So I have to train my training blocks such that I am focusing on my strength so that I can go through all the stations such as the sled push, sled pulls, wall balls, right? You need strength for all that kind of stuff. And I also plan for my running endurances and especially my 1 km speed. So for that, I will have to do intervals. And of course, I have to build my aerobic base, which I've been doing for the last few months. If you're more into marathons or CrossFit, your training plan will look so much different. But the structure that I'm sharing with you will stay consistent no matter what you're training for. So point number two is the big picture, your weekly structure. How are you going to plan your training from Monday to Sunday? I've mentioned this before, but my strength training is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are my running days, with my Sundays being my relaxed runs, super easy runs, but I'm going for distance. Now, let me walk you through it in more details. Let me start with Monday. So let's say for this week, I'm starting with set A. Right, so for my set A, I'll be doing my squat, bench press, I'll be doing barbell rows, deadlifts, and I will add on the thrusters. This is to build my form for wall balls. All right, and those are the miscellaneous kind of training. And I'll also be doing some dips to train for my endurance in my arms and my chest. Then for Tuesdays, it will be my easy run as well. That will be another 11 kilometers run, just a very moderate pace, nothing too intense and nothing too relaxed. Then Wednesday will be my set B for training. That will be my squat, overhead press, cleans, and I also add on some front squats just for accessories and to balance out my body. On top of that, I will add on some rowings for specificity of Hyrox, as well as some farmer's carry. So moving on to Thursday, that is where I'll be doing my runs. And in this run, I'll be adding on some speed works. So alternating between weeks, I'll be doing either intervals or tempo runs. Friday, strength training again, and now it's back to set A. So that will be my squat, my bench press, barbell rows, deadlifts, and thrusters. And this time around, I'll be adding on some pull-ups or lat pull-downs as well as lunges, again for the specificity training for Hyrox station. So for the next couple of days will be my runs. So Saturday will be my easy runs, which is over 11 km. And then Sundays, I'll be doing about 12 km, just even more relaxed pace, just to shake out everything and be prepared for the new week. And after that long run, not forgetting I'll be doing my recovery work, such as foam rolling, such as proper session of stretching, just to make sure that my body is doing fine. Now, point number three is to adapt your training to your lifestyle. You might be thinking in your head, yeah, that's great and all, but I don't have time for this. Like I mentioned, there is no one size fits all. Everyone has your own responsibilities, your own circumstances. So whatever kind of training plan that you're coming up with, it has to suit your lifestyle and your level of commitment that you can give towards your training. Personally, for me, I've had to tweak my training plans over and over again before I finally came up with one that is suitable for my time. And even with that, if I had some weeks which I've had early appointments for my work, I might have to tweak my training plan again. So point number four, some tips to keep this training plan going on and keeping it sustainable. Here are some tips that have helped me stick to my schedule and stay on track. Number one is to plan your sessions and treat it like an appointment that you cannot miss. So you have to give it some priority in your life. Number two is prioritize sleep. I cannot overemphasize this. Sleep is so important. It It makes a whole lot of difference when you have a good amount of sleep, and not just the amount of sleep, but also the quality of sleep that you are getting. Your training will be so much different. Number 3, track your progress, but don't obsess over the numbers. Remember, improvements is more like an up and down, but it's a long-term trend of going up. If you're always pushing yourself to do better than the previous session, it might not be sustainable. But if you look at it in the long run, and if you are improving over the long run, then that is something that I feel personally is a better way to go about it. Number 4, listen to your body. It's okay if you're feeling burnt out, tired, or stressed from work or family matters. This happened to me as well while I was training throughout this time. I do have some days of running where I dial down the speed even more. Like if I was going at 6 or 7 minutes per kilometers, I might slow it down to even 8 minutes per kilometers. And it's all in accordance to what I'm feeling for that day itself. And most importantly, you have to reflect back on what affected your performance on that day and then adjust accordingly. So in overall, building a hybrid training plan might seem a little intimidating for some, but once you've got a structure that works for you, it becomes second nature. And do remember, consistency beats intensity anytime. Show up, do the work, and give your body time to adapt and grow. If this video has helped you at all, do share with me in the comment section what you might want to implement in your training plan. I would love to hear how you're going to structure your training towards your goals in 2025. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on my journey of getting stronger and fitter. Let's keep crushing it together. I'll see you in the next video.